1995 MVP Mo Vaughn admits using HGH late in his career. Another one, like DJ Khaled would say. Has it ever felt to you that whenever you see another baseball player come positive by any means, even if admitting, just feels that either you're like, yeah, another one, or you go into Bud Selig mode, that damn man. Well, you get the point. Well, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's a large issue at hand because it also makes you wonder, has there ever been a baseball player that hasn't used some type of prohibited substance? The answer might be a little more complex than this, and that's exactly what came to my mind as I was seeing this humongous man, Mo Vaughn, who, again, was an MVP in 1995. He played with the Angels, with the Red Sox, and of course, he went to finish out his career where careers die, the New York Mets. He's been retired, since '03? And, it's one of those things that it made me wonder. I wonder why he came out and said now. It's like, well, how earth shattering that anyone would actually doubt that Mo Vaughn used steroids. However, it is one of these things that, with so many cases in baseball that have been exposed, and obviously the witch hunt mode that ended up being the whole Balco and how horribly handled it was by Bud Selig, it really makes you wonder. Are we supposed to be disappointed when this happens? Are we supposed to feel down on the player? The answer might be a little more complicated because I guess it depends on how you want to see it. I've always been of the belief that unless we actually have robots, and hey, who knows with how AI is going nowadays, I guess we can't discard that at some point, even our entertainment forms like sports might end up there. Hopefully not. One more job that actually would be affected. Although I wish to think, wishful thinking, that won't happen, at least not anytime soon. So, it makes you wonder, wow, I wonder what's the next star that actually is going to come out either by his own volition and admitting, or is going to be caught. Mo Vaughn admits that he faced injuries, and that led him down to the fact of, yes, I need to use this as I want to have a rebound, this and that. Now, Mo Vaughn by no means had an interesting career that you might say, far be it from actually even sniffing a little of Hall of Fame into him, albeit the 1995 MVP campaign. But yeah, he had some slugging seasons, your 35 plus homers and whatnot, but he was never an all around player. He was never a wow player, generational or whatnot. And that guides me down the rabbit hole, which is beyond Mo Vaughn. It really guides me into what I always tell people. Well, you can actually have whatever substance you want. If you ain't good, you're not going to cut the drill. But yeah, Mo Vaughn, you actually see how his performance, this and that, he was an MVP, he was this. But the HGH, who, I'm not a doctor by no means, but I know what a steroid is and what HGH is. And no, HGH is technically not a steroid, but it definitely helps your performance for sure. And there's a reason why you can't use it in baseball too. You feel me? It is a performance booster. At the end of the day, what I think that people should really ask themselves, and again, baseball has received a larger stench, if anything, in sports in general, aside from your Ben Johnsons and whatnot, the Olympics, and, fewer other sections in other sports. But baseball is kind of like the poster boy for the steroid problems, right? So it guides me down the path. I mean, a lot of people threw flag at Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, and Barry Bonds, and recently the Hall of Fame Veterans Committee is trying to do everything to pretty much keep them out, I guess, of the Hall of Fame, which is bullshit if you ask me. All of these guys should be there. And they should be there because in spite of the fact that you might actually attribute that, yes, they used steroids, they used HGH, they used whatever. But let's look at the circumstance. If you would have actually removed Mo Vaughn from the utilization of HGH, which is by all means the only thing that he has admitted to, granted, Mo Vaughn did appear in the Mitchell report that came out for '03. He at least does confirm the fact that, yes, HGH was used. Who knows what else he used? And I opened the same quota for anyone that has played, plays, or whatever. I'm not going to put anyone in doubt of not using. I'd be surprised if someone, oh, what? You're not using? That's where I would doubt. Everyone. No exceptions. Because of a simple factor. It's too long of a season for many different reasons. And obviously, there's a business acumen to this. But not deviating too much away from the fact. Can anyone, by any means, legitimately prove that Mo Vaughn, without those HGH that he used, would he have been a different player than what he was? I don't know. Let's say that the HGH gave him a boost slightly. It wasn't too much of a boost because it didn't catapult him to be a Hall of Fame slugger. Again, he's very short by many, many miles of being a Hall of Famer. And it takes me over to Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was a stud. Ever since he was that very fit guy before he became a robot transformer, whatever, Optimus Prime, he was always a hell of a player. Sammy Sosa, same case. Now, granted, did they take maybe some boost? Well, yeah, but can anyone actually seriously prove that their performance, no difference to Mo Vaughn not being a superstar, that these would have not been superstars, Hall of Fame caliber players without it? And that's where the point really becomes. And I see a lot of people with heat criticizing. And what? The witch hunt that actually occurred in MLB was much more impulse out of the fact that players started having heart attacks because of those type of steroids from back in the day. You feel me? You got your Andy Bean sign, Ken Caminiti and everything. Ken Caminiti, may he rest in peace, but he looked like a walking needle, buffed up, if anything. Unnatural. Anytime you see people with those crazy veins popping up, it's not natural. Just telling you, it is not natural. And as much as I don't promote the using of any of those substances, I also don't promote the fact that we should actually continue a witch hunt. And I'm also ready for leaving behind the PED's conversations in baseball. Baseball is in the middle of a renaissance right now. You got global star and Shohei Ohtani. You got other stars that are rising up, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and others. I'm interested in actually seeing baseball have its full renaissance. I want to see baseball have the best of times possible. And the best of times, a lot of it implicit. Let's leave this PED conversation behind. Mo Vaughn wanted to get out off his chest. Great. Let's not continue satanizing the great players of this game. Because if you can't recognize that Bonds, Sosa, Ramirez, Clemens, and all those guys were studs, you just don't know a damn thing of the sport. Because talent can never be injected. You either have it or you don't. Those guys should be in the Hall of Fame. By all means. In the same way that Mo Vaughn used HGH and did not become a Hall of Fame player. And the same token that these people were Hall of Fame because they were born with it. And we surely had a lot of fun. There's a lot of the things that they use that are in the Hall of Fame. So let's leave hypocrisy aside. Let's get these guys into the Hall of Fame. Let's end the PED conversation. Clean the slate. Boom. Done. Because remember, even Babe Ruth is in the Hall of Fame. Not to mention many others who have a lot of track in the negative way. Let's get these guys in. I'll reach you in the comments, and I'm interested in knowing if you also want to have a clean slate from all this PED talk. Long live baseball. Be happy.